Hello, everybody. Hope you all are well. If you hear my music, I just wanted to play some music. Anybody who knows me knows I love music. It's a passion of mine. It's a heart of mine. I just love music in all forms of fashion. Um, but I do welcome you and thank you all for joining me on tonight. Um, I was kind of inspired about tonight's message, actually. So earlier today, I was walking my dog, and I just I began to look at the trees, and I noticed that how the most fruitful trees were the leaves had fallen on the ground, and continuously were falling. So as I was walking, I was seeing the leaves fall, and I was just amazed at how the leaves were falling, and I literally heard, you know, sometimes you just have to let things go. I said, okay. um, and I understood that. And so I said, okay, well, this must be what I'm supposed to talk about. And then later on, um, like on different channels, different people that I know, it was like they were all talking about letting go of things and getting away from people, getting away from things. And so I said, yeah, this is really what the talk is. Um, letting things go and understanding what exactly that means. So when it's time, we always talk about everything has a season, and when people seasons or when things seasons up, it's just up and over, and it's like God will use any and everything around us to show how to do it. Um, some people, would ask, how do I do this? How do I say I'm leaving? How do I make an exit? How do I I don't know, just how? Like, it's almost like how. It's just the point of actually doing it. That is the point. It's a fear. Letting people go, letting things go is a fear, but it's necessary. And so what I got out of it was, the tree, in order for the tree to renew itself for next year, it had to let the things go this year. And when do the trees let things go? At the end of the year. So whatever you need to let go and keep in 2022, leave it in 2022. Let it go. Like if it's not sticky, if it's not if it's not something that's keeping you whole, if it's not something that's keeping you grounded and stable and secure, let it go. No matter what it is, no matter who it is, um, if it's causing any type of disruption, separate yourself from it. And if it's meant for you to come back, then it will come back. It'll be just like the leaves. If it's meant for that thing to happen all over again for you in a new way, of course, it will come back. And so, when I tried what I was trying pruning, and I'm like, no, it's not a pruning. It's no necessary. It's not a process. It's not an actual name for when the leaves fall. They just fall. So I just titled this today's message. Let the leaves fall, because wherever they fall, however they fall, whatever is the cause of its fall, that means that it is not meant to last long. It was never meant to last long. It was meant to serve its purpose, and whatever purpose that leaf did for you, whatever that leaf is, it did its job, and now it's time to prepare yourself for what's to come next. It's time to prepare your mind for what's to come next, because I'm almost positive that there is something that you have been thinking about doing and saying, should I do this or not? No, maybe I shouldn't do it. No, it's time to start doing it now. Or it's time to at least start preparing yourself to do it. So you are very welcome. You are very welcome. And because and I began to look up, just different things about when the leaves fall. And one thing that I learned, or actually I remembered, 'cause I almost forgot, is that they said when the leaves fall on it from a tree, to let them fall where they fall, because not only does it give the tree a chance to renew itself, but it covers the roots of the tree and become fertilizer for the tree. So whatever fell, whoever detached, whatever did not work out for you, don't worry about it, because it fell off of you, it fell away from you, it broke off of you, it separated itself away from you so that it can give you that energy and produce that fertilizer for you to grow for the next season in your life, for that next springtime, for whenever you blow up, whatever term you use, whenever you whenever that season is coming, that and those people that were meant to stay in your life will be there, and they will be able to celebrate your growth. And not only will those people remember the leaves that fell, they're going to also see how you utilize those things that fell away from you and broke away from you, and pushed you into the direction that you are supposed to go to. It pushed you to better. It pushed you to greatness. It pushed you to a place where, for some people, I'm literally hearing the word platform. It made a platform so that when you stand on those things, it made you even taller than what you were. It's almost like, when people set up traps for you, it's like the trap failed and became your stepping stones. And I'm really seeing. I don't know who the artist is, but I thank God for that artist that made the lady who was walking up the steps, and it says walking out of my past into my future. That steps, and I mean, I've seen different pictures of the same, uh, different messages of the same picture. And it's almost like that. It's like, no matter what people laid out to trip you up, they didn't make they tripped you. And yes, they tripped you up, but not they didn't trip you up to the point where you failed. They literally tripped you upward. They tripped you to the next level. They tripped you to the next step. And um, I mean, it's going to be a lot of people that's going to be shocked, because whereas they have planned your downfall, um, they only pushed you upward. They only motivated you to do something different, to get out of your comfort zone for some people. And whenever you get out of your comfort zone, that's when your faith kicks in. That's when your drive kicks in, because it's like, okay, I'm out. So, and it's like the island, either I'm going to sink, or not the island, but you're in the middle of the ocean. So it's like either I'm going to sink or I'm going to swim. And when you choose to swim, it's going to push you, because it's like, and it's not the survival mode, it's that mode of, while I'm out here, I might as well just go to the other side, because you push me to the middle of this thing. You push me to the middle of the ocean. You push me to the middle of the thing, whatever it is. So now I'm just going to keep going and not look back. And that's what a tree does. A tree doesn't go back and collect those same leaves. year after year, it grows new ones. And sometimes, now, I will say this when it comes to pruning, and it is proven that and what happens with pruning is that when you cut off that which needs to be pruned, not only does it grow back, but sometimes it grows back even more than what you had to start with. So whatever fell, even if a whole branch fell away from you and not just a leaf, when that branch goes back, it's not only going to grow back, but it's going to grow back 2 and 3 times more than what you had to begin with. And and sometimes things don't make sense to us. We don't understand why things are happening to us, but we do understand that afterwards we are okay. Whenever we have these troubling times in our lives, it's important for us to understand that if it can't take life away from us, we will be okay. And if you're in a situation where it is a life or death situation, getting that peace and understanding that you know God has my back either way. Either He heals me of this thing and I come out on top. But if his plan for me is to go to the other side of glory, as the old folks would say, if it's time for me to go, then baby, I have done my work. It is finished. And when I get to the other side, God's gonna open up something new for me because I don't have to struggle no more. I don't have to worry no more. Um, and that is one of the things over these past few years, I promise y'all, that has become one of those things where I look at it differently because I knew so many people that were in pain. And now and yes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say that it was hurtful for me. I'm not gonna say that it tormented me, but when I thought about how many times some of those people had to fight every day for their life, had to fight for happiness, had to fight looking for love, had to fight to keep a peace of mind. And then I thought about it, they don't have to worry about that no more. They're literally at peace. God gave them rest. Sometimes we don't understand, like I said earlier, we don't understand why things happen. But what we do know is that we find comfort later. I don't know why the difference came in. It just kind of slipped in. But we do find peace with whatever happens. And for those of us that are left with the memory of our loved ones, that even pushed us to do greater things as well. That pushed us to say, okay, well, since me and my friend, and this is a true story from me. I had a friend that passed away years ago, and me and her had a conversation. And we made a pact that when we got to the top, we were gonna celebrate. We were gonna meet up, and I mean, we had it planned out. She got killed in a car accident, and so I said, I'm gonna use that as motivation for me to make sure that I still get there. And I'm just gonna say this: I, I'm I'm still on that road, right? I'm not there all the way, but I didn't forget it. But it also pushes me to continue. So even when the road looks shaky, even when the time is I don't know, it's just it looks hard. I don't stress about it because I'm like, I know it's going to do something for me. It's going to push me in the direction to where I need to go. It's my fuel for me to keep going because it's like she didn't get a chance to do this. So, girl, I'm gonna do this thing for the both of us. And sometimes I truly believe some people were meant to be in our lives only to be our biggest cheerleaders, only to be our biggest push from the other side. Their destiny was to literally come into our lives to give us something to work towards and to leave a legacy. Because I know a lot of people that have had children and passed away, but their children are still here. And their children reminded us that they lived. In the good words of, as some people would say, Evangelist Beyonce knows Carter. They lived, they breathed, they were here, they made an impact, they made a statement in our lives. And so we know that they were here. We remember that they were here. We will always remember, but they also help somebody get to the next level. Thank you. I was just reminded of why the death piece is important because a colleague of mine from Kansas City recently passed away. And I'm going to share his testimony because the man was doing did 30 years of work for his community in the health field, making sure that the lives of his community were impacted in a positive way. And he had a procedure done, a medical procedure, and went into a coma. But the miracle is, for me, it's a miracle because they let this man stay in a coma for almost a year before they unplugged, took him off the breathing machine. And I say it's a miracle because, most times people will say, oh, well, he wouldn't want to live like that, or she wouldn't want to live like that. But he did so much work that they were saying, we will at least give him to come out of this thing. Because if he was a fighter for us, we're going to see if he's going to fight again for his life. And so they finally let him rest. But it does not take away from him the work that he did. So again, sometimes people are and things are in our lives to push us, to get us to that next level. And when we get to that level, whenever they depart from us, whenever they break away from us, it does not negate how they made a contribution to our lives. It was just their time to go. And we have to use that which they taught us, what they gave us, how they blessed us. Even if it was a fight, you learned something from that fight. Even if it was something that rubbed you the wrong way, which I have also learned over the last few years that when something rubs you the wrong way, that's the time when you look inward and you ask yourself, why did this rub me the wrong way? Why did I react the way that I reacted? When was the first time I had this type of reaction to a situation? And you can go back and you can heal yourself and in that time, once you start to heal yourself, once you start to get back to you, however you is, you're gonna notice that you even grew a little more. Your mindset, the way you speak, the way you act, the way you think has changed because you take an internal observation and said, okay, I need to make some changes myself. And you go forth. And just like the tree, you come back and you'll bloom again, and people will see the same frame, and but they won't know the difference that's in here and right here. They're not going to see that difference. The only thing is that you will be able to show them the difference. And when you show them the difference, um, they're going to be amazed. So, like, and that reminds me of this. My mother had this tree in her yard, and the first year it grew, it had all these beautiful flowers on it, and the flowers even grew on the trunk of the tree. So we were already confused at that because we had never seen a tree like that. The very next year, not only did the tree, lose those flowers, it grew back with flowers, but then it grew little spikes on the tree. And so we were confused. It's like, okay. what kind of tree is this? First it had, or when I say spikes, like thorns, like, and I mean long thorns that you could literally pick off and stick somebody with. So we just kind of looked and said, okay, this tree is doing its own thing. No, when the tree lost those leaves, a change took place. And when that change took place, it grew back the next year the same way with the what do they call it? With the extra add-on. It came back with extra protection. And sometimes what a protection looks like for us is that because now we have that clear way of thinking. When somebody tries to do something to us, we don't have to avoid it and say, "Oh, I already know you try to play mind games." Get the chess going, get the chess place, and beat the game. Like you can swerve now because you're not going to touch me. Um, the way you talk, somebody used to see you and they say, "Oh, this person is quiet." I bet you they're the same old quiet person. Watch this, and they mess with you, and you open your mouth and say, no," you shut them down in front of everybody, and then you say, "Peace, I'm good," and you walk away. What used to trigger you won't trigger you no more because you're just like, "Oh, I passed that test. I'm going for that. I'm somebody different. I'm somebody better now." Like, you still on that? That shows me how much you have grown and improved. It shows that you didn't take. You're still carrying around last year's woes. You're still carrying around last year's height. We're coming upon a new year. What are you going to do in this new year that is different than last year? What types of things are you trying to bring from 2022 into 2023 that doesn't make you smile? And then I want you to ask yourself, why are you carrying that into 2023? Don't carry that into 2023. Now I can understand if it's a sad situation, like I know a few deaths have recently happened, even in my own family and social circles. But I mean, and it's okay to remember the person, right? I'm not telling you how to grieve. But if it's something that doesn't hold any weight, if somebody sabotaged you on the job, that means in 2023 it's time to get a new job or switch out of that role, switch out of, and go to another department because it only shows that you are growing and going into a different space, and people can kind of sense it. When people start to gang up on you, it only shows that you're in the right direction. That's what they call growing. Because as long as you're in the same position as everybody else, everything is peaceful. But the minute you start going up, that's when them as they say, the crabs in the bucket or crabs in the barrel play start to come because everybody want to bring you down. Like, you getting too much notoriety. You got too many good things going, and that's not happening for me. So now I got to go. But on your way up, if they fall down, don't reach back and pick them up because especially if they have the same opportunity as you, if they had the same instruction as you, if they had the same chance to learn as you, do that. And sometimes people say, um, I've noticed throughout my life, and I've had so many different teachers and so many different mentors growing up, and they will say one thing and say, "Oh, you should do it this way, and you should do it that way." And then when I got older, I noticed that they weren't doing the exact same things that they were teaching me, and they questioned me. And I'm like, "This is what you taught." And so I said, "Well, I'm gonna put this boundary here, and if they happen to walk away permanently, then they walked away permanently. I couldn't let that hold me back. And so many doors have opened for me because of that. And so I'm just telling you, I'm not telling you something that I have not gone through. And I'll just say again, continue to walk forward. Continue to do continue to do you. Continue to let the leaves fall where they fall. Let them fall. Don't go collecting dead stuff. Let it fall. Let it become your fertilizer, your growth, aka your growth spurt. The things that motivates you to do things even better. And continue to do this because in life we know that we're not supposed to be complacent. And when we get into the habit of not just staying in places because it's feel comfortable, because we okay, I'm thinking about Cheers. If you've ever seen the show Cheers, go to a place where everybody knows your name. No, sometimes you have to go to a place where nobody knows your name so that they can know your name, because that is when you blow up the most. Because when people start to say, "Who is this man? Who is this woman? Who is this?" Like, where did y'all come from? Like, you get all of this and you were where? And that's the thing. Sometimes people see more in us than we see in ourselves. And because we don't see it, it doesn't mean that we're not as grand and beautiful. It doesn't mean that we don't hold much weight. It doesn't mean that we are just as great. And again, I'm going back to my tree reference. I'm sure the trees, when they were saplings, they didn't understand what they were going to grow into. I'm sure that the oak trees didn't know how grand and beautiful and sturdy they were going to be when they got to that stage in their life where they became the trees that we see today. I'm sure they just go through life growing their leaves, letting the leaves fall, letting the branches fall, regrowing the new ones every year and becoming grand in the beautiful colors that we see every year. And we stand in awe and like, wow, really? Like, look at those leaves. The oranges, the reds, the yellows, the golds, the green, the evergreens that match, that come in between. And it's like you see all these beautiful pictures. And that's what we are in life. We grow into these different things that people see from afar, and they're just like, wow, like, look how amazing that person is. Look how strong that person is. Look what that person is doing now. I remember then, but wow, you are amazing me. I am one of my niece's biggest fans. I will always, if y'all see, if you're on my Facebook page, I pushed her today. She graduated with her master's. She graduated from University of Alabama, Birmingham in 3 years. I am so proud of that young woman. And she has a few more things coming. So, and I'm not going to tell her testimony, but just know that she's doing some great things. And I stand in awe because I remember when she was born. I remember when she was a baby. I remember when she was coming into her own and becoming a teenager. And I'm looking at how beautiful she is. And I stand in awe like, wow, look at you. I'm so proud of you. And that's what so many people in our lives do. They are in awe, but we can't stay complacent. But we can't allow things to hold us down. And we can't go after the things that we gotta let go. And I will tell you right now, my niece is not to let things hold her down. She's like, you, oh, okay. Well, you say you're gonna stay there. That's not me. Sit and keep on moving. And I'm sure it takes a process for her, right? Because when things and people separate themselves from us, it takes us a minute because it's a blow. It's unexpected. So we take like what just happened? Like we were good a few days ago, and now we're not even talking. Like what's going on? But we can't figure it out. We have to get over that initial shock and move on and keep pushing. Because I promise you, when you push, you're pushing your way to something greater. You're pushing yourself to something better. You're pushing your way to another city, another state, for some people, another country, another job, another person. And those that are meant to see us will see us, and they say, come with me. I need to show you to the work. I need to show your gifts to some other people because what you're saying, what you're doing, what the things that you're dreaming about, somebody else has that same dream, and I need to put y'all two together because obviously there's a vision there for your life, for what you're meant to do, and when it's time for you, and when it's time for that vision to be activated, right? It's time. And so you go and you activate what's been placed on the inside of you. And when you go out on, no pun intended, I promise you, when you go out on that limb, you will see what you're supposed to do. That's when you have your aha moment. I've had a moment like that earlier this year, and I was like, what's going on? Like, I was just cool, but then I had an awakening when I sat back and was just taking an evaluation. I had an awakening about some futuristic things that I need to do, and it made me really look at the job that I was doing, and not to say that I don't say this in a way where I'm saying I'm conceited or I'm better than anybody else. Know that no, I'm a very human person. But when I looked at the jobs that I was doing, and I said these are mundane jobs, and I'm not using my full potential. I'm dumbing myself down by not pushing myself, by not charging myself. These are watered down versions of me that I've been giving to people for years, and that's not who I am. If you want to see the real me, then I have to give you the real me. And what the real me is going to look like is going to be different from the picture that I have painted for you for many years. So when I start to see and do different things, no, I'm not acting funny. No, I'm not acting different. I'm just showing you the better version of me. I'm showing you the me that is so meticulous because I tell people I'm not a perfectionist, but I had this saying and it's on my wall. Um, accused of being great, striving for perfection. You call me great, but I promise you I'm striving for perfection. No, nobody's perfect, but I'm striving for perfection because if I can get as close to perfection as possible, that means that every dot is dotted, every T is crossed, every curve is perfect. That means I am striving to be the person that God has truly designed me to be. And no, it's not. That cup of tea is not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. But the cup of tea that is meant for, they're going to take a sip, they're going to enjoy it, they're going to get something from it. Our relationships will bloom and grow, and it is what it is. And so, letting the leaves fall where they let the leaves fall is also a way of saying when it's time to go, pack your bags and leave and go. You know, don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to what other people have to think about you. Just do you. And I've seen so many people that have blossomed, and I'm just like, okay. And they was like, yeah, I just had to learn to listen to my heart, listen to the things that I had been holding back and pushing back to the back of my mind. I let it come to the forefront, and here I am. So that's all I have for you tonight is to let the leaves fall wherever they fall. Keep going. You got this. Even in a new territory, you got it because that means that God is pushing you there for a reason, for a purpose, for a new season, for your new year, for your new. Let the leaves fall for your new. That's the post. Let the leaves fall for your new. Because again, the leaves serve as the fertilizer, as that gas to keep you moving. So you all have a good night. And again, until next time, I will see you later.